pressure on the air, which means the density of the oxygen in the air is less, meaning the oxygen molecules.
Trying to cut back just a little bit. Vo2 Max, we're breaking it down today, okay? Got some questions for all of you actually about this topic. We've dove into Vo2 Max before, but it's been a long time here on the channel. All right, let's go get ready for those mountains. Not gonna make the mistake I made 2 days ago. Remember this?
The GoPro keeps dying. I'll just say this, I gotta go take a phone call.
Let's just say it was the coldest I've ever been up on a 14er in Colorado because I was underdressed. Not making that mistake again. Testing these New Balance tights today, 50th edition of the New York City Marathon. They feel, oh man, wow, I didn't even notice that pocket. They look amazing, but I have a little bit of a, maybe a pet peeve, I guess is a way to put it. There's no way you will catch me wearing this long sleeve before I finish. Can you read that? Hopefully it's in focus. The New York City Marathon. It says finisher on that. I do appreciate you sending it along, New Balance, but it's like, I can't do it. You got to put into work. You know what we're doing here on this channel. You put into work, then you go race, then you hopefully finish the race, then you get the finisher long sleeve. So it's a little bit of a mental, maybe even mental strategy. Like, no, I haven't finished yet. We still got 6-7 weeks of work to put in before we go get this guy on our back. So we are setting that aside, and we'll be wearing this long sleeve today as we chit chat about Vo2 Max for running. Let's go. As we travel up to the high country, I'm noticing that my gas light just came on, all right, which means I need to pull over and refuel, okay? You know, with planes, trains, and automobiles need some form of energy in order to propel the vehicle forward. Well, our muscles, we need oxygen, we need glycogen, we need fuel sources to burn during intense exercise, and that is the Vo2. The Vo2 Max Test is testing the maximum amount of oxygen that we are able to uptake during intense exercise. Of course, there's other tests that you can do out there, the lactate threshold test, heart rate, of course. And for context, we will share some numbers from some of the most elite endurance athletes in the world, okay, here in a second. But for the average person walking around the streets, the average Vo2 max for males is between 40 and 45, okay? So if you hear these numbers throughout the vlog, the average, or just the average person walking down the street is 40 to 45 for males and 30 to 35 for females, okay? So remember those numbers. All right, I'm putting my shoes on, going out into the dark, and then we'll see you up on the mountain.
Now, what's going to be fascinating, everybody, for the New York City Marathon, and again, this is one of the reasons I like to race the same races, preferably in consecutive years, but it's actually even more fascinating, the fact that it's been 2 years of very consistent training for me here at altitude. So I come to altitude because there's less air pressure, less pressure on the air, which means the density of the oxygen in the air is less, meaning the oxygen molecules can spread out more, which means your body has to go through an adaptation process simply to survive up here. And, the altitude impacts our VO2 max. And I've researched that high altitude is considered to start at about 1,900 feet above sea level. Isn't that interesting? Where you just begin to see some small impacts by altitude. So right now I'm probably parked at probably about 13,000 feet. I think that may be a little over 13,000 feet. We probably have about 1,000 feet to go. And again, it's that red blood cell recruitment that happens up here. Your body naturally creates more red blood cells, and we'll see if it pays off in about, 6 to 7 weeks in the Big Apple. All right, VO2 Max, is it getting better? Now remember, here we are, we made it to the top, our normal mountain. Now remember, our body has a predetermined amount of ability to transport oxygen to our muscles. Some of it is genetics, some of it we can train, okay? I'm interested in that. Frankly though, what I'm most excited about for New York City is, I'll just call it old man strength. How am I gonna feel, crossing the 5 bridges, okay? Pulaski, Queensboro, Verrazano, there's 2 others, I think. Here they are on your screen, which adds up to, I should say, about 750 vertical feet in the New York City Marathon. That is no joke. So I'm interested in just seeing, how my legs gonna respond after some serious vertical gain training over the past 2 years. But also, just a reminder, our ability to transport oxygen to our muscles when we're training, when we're racing, depends on 4 factors, okay? Our maximum heart rate, which I don't train by heart rate, the stroke volume, so our heart's ability to actually pump, like the valve, how strong is it to pump that blood out to our muscles, all right? 2 more is the hemoglobin, the quantity of hemoglobin that we have in the blood, and the proportion of our circulatory system that is able to transport the blood to our working muscles. All right, we'll break this more down at the house, but again, some of these factors we can train, some of them we cannot. There we go, New York City Marathon, 26.2 miles coming for you, but not before the VO2 Max, perhaps putting it out there. Oh yeah, shout out to Lady Liberty as well. All right, there it is. I had this notion at the beginning of the day to talk about VO2 and the scientific side of VO2. But it's been a while. Like I've said, I think it's been at least 18 to 24 months. I didn't even have a chance to go look and see where it is in the vlog. I'll try and find it and link to it down below. But at the end of the day, I just did a little refresher, reading some of my science books, my running science books, and then also, listening to some YouTube videos. Whoa. VO2 Max is actually, if you really dig down into it, it's a pretty scientific proposition. And I am not going to take the time or attempt to explain it today. It's actually more complex than I remembered in the past. Now, I'm sure I could simplify it for all of you, but anyway, I want to make sure that, and this is where it connects to my, reaching out for help from all of you. Speaking of which, thank you
for all the logo design ideas that have been submitted over the last 24 hours. Well, really, when you're watching this, last 36 hours. I think I've received at least 30 emails. So if I don't email you back immediately, I will eventually, but immediately, just bear with me. At least 30 emails have arrived today with logo design ideas. So if you're a graphic designer, a logo designer, go watch yesterday's vlog and you'll see what's happening with respect to a DGR logo. I digress. At the end of the day, in the last, let's see, it's 2021. In the last 18 months, I've reached out to at least three local physiology labs in the greater Denver area, asking them, now granted, it was the pandemic, so I give them a little slack there, but I reached out asking, hey, I've got this YouTube channel, I'd love to come in and test my lactate threshold and my Vo2 Max. Do you have the facilities for this? Would you, more importantly, allow me to film the experience and give you some free promotion along the way? I heard from one company and we went back and forth. I think this was last spring, and I think at the end of the day, I think the ball was dropped because of the pandemic, basically, where they weren't quite ready to allow people to come into their clinic. Be that as it may, I would love your help if you live in the greater Denver area to connect me with a lab, with a physiology lab that would be willing to let me come in, film, and I've never done it before, okay? The Vo2 Max test. Guess what? You know me in data, it's not my thing. But some people have been asking and wondering, what is my Vo2 Max? And on that note, Greg LeMond, the Tour de France winner back in the 80s, I believe, and then Killian, okay, who I've interviewed on the channel, upper right-hand corner. I believe both of now I don't know about Killian, if you ever watch this. I think I've heard that his Vo2 Max test was around 92, which is a very good score. And I'm really, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you got to turn the doorknob and work hard. But if you have any connections, it would be fun, right? To test it, to film it, to share the experience, get some more of the scientific background that, again, I can't share with all of you today right now, but we could do with a scientist, in person at a lab. Sound good? So I guess I'll just put it up on the screen again. info@DeMoorGlobalRunning.com. That's where you can submit your logo design ideas, but also if a physiology lab, and it would be great to do it before the New York City Marathon, okay? Fitness is increasing. It'd be amazing to do it, I would say, in mid-October. I'm open to it. I'd love to, whatever lab or physiology lab is out there, I'd love to give you some free promotion and let people know about what you are doing. Okay, here we go. Comment of the day, question of the day. We got to close this out. Oh my. Hey. Steven, here we go. What differentiates you from other running YouTubers is the aspect of family. People filming their adventures in mountains, reviewing shoes, and vlogging about their own running performances are a dime a dozen, okay? Those may be reasons that attract viewers to your videos, but I think they stay because you are the only one with a family aspect, whether it be your immediate family or the larger running family you are building. Steven. I can't tell you how much I think, Steven, and everybody watching, thank you for watching, that I think and reflect about you and how to bring you value here on YouTube. And I think you're right, Steven, that there's a lot of running shoe reviews being published. There's a lot of race vlogs being published. There's a lot of training tips being shared, which is all great. But at the end of the day, what am I always saying? Running is part of life. Life is part of running, meaning life is life is not running. I don't want to say it like that, but they're integrated. They dovetail. They're together, meaning family, school, the boys getting bigger, soccer games. That's the essence of, and I love, frankly, when professional runners retire because they realize I can't do this anymore, take care of my family, and train at a high level. They have that eureka moment where they have to say, okay, I'm all in on family, taking care, like Ryan Hall, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm sad that he retired young-ish, but at the end of the day, he's got a big family and and now his wife, Sarah, gets to go out and do the training and race at a high level. It's just amazing. So anyway, Steven, you get the comment of the day. Question of the day is, I'll probably do 2 parts here. I mean, number 1, have you had your Vo2 Max tested? What was your, well, you don't have to share your score, but what was the experience like? If you want to share your score, go for it. And part 2 is this of interest to you, where I find a place that can test these different components of my lactate threshold, my Vo2 Max, and then share it with all of you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I know that was not a scientific approach to Vo2 Max, but we'll get to it at some point. All right, we'll toss it to how to run faster playlist. Right there, right there, right there. How to run faster playlist. About 7 or 8 videos on that playlist right there. All right, seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.